Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another HTC Vive video. Namely, Modbox is the star of today's episode. Now I think this game is best described as Gary's mod in virtual reality, or at least it's on its best way deserving that status. So why don't we go ahead and actually establish the functionalities of this game by just loading up a pre-created scene, namely the moon base defense. And here we go, here we are at the moon base defense. Everyone is already going crazy, so let's go ahead and pick up a couple of weapons. We have plenty of weapons at our disposal. This is the shotgun, I would assume. And take that. And you little bastards, take it as well. Who's next? Who's next? Oh well, maybe let's choose another gun. However, we can of course also reload this bad boy, yes. But even better, now we can actually test out the rocket launcher. Let's shoot this bad boy and oh no, unfortunately we missed. We have to grab ourselves another rocket, put it in there and shoot. Yes, oh no, we actually failed the game. So this game was actually not really the point of this video. The point of this video is the edit mode. Yes, look at that. All of this was actually created manually and you can do this yourself. All of these objects are in the game ready for you to place. So there are two modes, the play mode and the edit mode. And of course you can edit everything. You can, for instance, take this spawner which dictates the spawner player location, and the next time we hit play we would just spawn right there. Then you can see there's dynamic text for the waves and also for the targets. But even better, all of this decorative stuff has been placed in here manually. These are all building parts, and even better, you can make your own customized guns if you wish to do so. Now this to me is just the essence of a GMOD type of game, that you can build all of this stuff, that you can build all of these contraptions. And I mean, look at this menu right here. There is so much stuff already implemented in this game and it's just the beginning. So now instead of going through every little detail here, I would suggest we're just gonna go ahead and actually start our own little scene. We're gonna say build new, and we are actually gonna go into the holodeck. No, let's go to the test chamber, I like this the most. Then one thing I definitely want to activate is the Primitives Plus mod. This will give us a lot more things to build with, and I guess that's actually everything we need. We can actually also enable mods later on. Alright, there we go, here we are in the test chamber. What a beautiful sight. Anyways, let's think about our project. Let's imagine we want to be like a car mechanic and we want to build a little car here in this game. Why the heck not? Maybe we would want to start with a wheel. So first of all, I want a wall where I can actually hang up my wheels. So we're gonna spawn a cube, and you can already see we can drag and drop it into all kinds of directions, make them bigger or smaller. And holy cow, my hand is shaking. It's actually not shaking that much. The game is just very, very responsive. Anyways, what I want to do with this bad boy, I want to grab it and I actually want to angle snap it, so it is now snapped into a 90 degrees angle, and I also want to snap it to the grid so I can be much more precise with the placement. So first things first, I want to make here a little wall. However, I just don't have the capacity, the arm length to make this a really big wall. So we're just gonna have a look into the settings and edit our scale a little bit. Now we are much bigger in relation to the objects, and we can make this wall slightly bigger, push it into the ground so it snaps to the ground and won't fall down as soon as we hit the play button. And then we just edit our scale down again and the wall is much bigger. Now of course we could also give this a nice material with the paint tool. We could, for instance, say we give this a nice pink color. Why the heck not? Anyways, let's try to build a little wheel. That would be great. We're gonna have a look into the Primitives Plus and we're gonna choose, I guess, a cross. And we're also gonna angle snap and grid snap that into place. Okay, I want something that is very thin and approximately this size. Okay, now we're gonna spawn in a cube and I want to angle snap and grid snap that as well and make it, of course, a whole lot smaller. Maybe something along these lines, that looks good. However, now I have to change one of the settings. I want to change the rotation snap to 45 degrees so we can be a little bit more precise. And then I can just aim it 45 degrees and attach it to this guy. As soon as both guys are lighting up in green, they will be attached to each other. Let's choose the clone tool and actually select this guy so we have another one of those with the same properties and attach it to the cross as well. There we go, that is perfectly symmetrical. We're gonna clone this guy once again, unlock rotation, lock it again, attach it, etc, etc. So let's choose another shape. I want this ring thingy-majingy, and if we adjust the size a little bit, we can make it wheel-like, but this should still be the metal part of the entire wheel. So we want to make sure that we make it just big enough to attach to the stuff we already have. Okay, there we go. I think this is more or less perfectly centered. Now it's time to attach the actual tire. So we want to make sure this is big enough. Well, not too big actually. It should just be slightly bigger than the rims we've just built. There we go. How about that? I think that is actually going to do the trick. Let's go ahead and choose an appropriate material for this. Okay, I think we want some nice chrome for the inside here, for the rims. So we have some nice metal reflection. Oh yes. And then of course rubber for the actual tires. Look at that. We have built a wheel, and of course we could just go crazy and build an entire car with this. However, now if we actually play this scene, of course the wheel is subject to gravity. However, we can pick it up, play around with it, and now we could really use that as a real wheel, actually, including other parts such as spinning parts. Now of course we could go crazy and actually attach this to the wall with a little hook thingy-majingy. So attach this to the wall right there, and now we want to grab the wheel. However, these are all individual parts at the moment, so what we have to do is use the group tool. We want to actually auto-select connected. There we go, and now we can actually select the group, say done, and we have one entire wheel that we can actually hook up on this wall. And now we can just hit the play button, and there we go, we got a wheel on the wall, guys. Isn't that amazing? It's great! Anyways guys, I think it's time to set up a new scene. I think we're gonna go ahead and actually build a customized weapon. There's so many things that I would like to show you, but won't be able to do so because of the sheer vastness of content here and possibilities. But maybe I can show you at least a little something of what's possible. Alright, first things first, I will have to reactivate the primitives mod, and as I said, can also do this while the game is already running. Because now what I want to start with here is a little table, and we're gonna place that bad boy in front of us, maybe make it a little bit bigger, and then we're gonna place it in front of us so that we have a place for our weapons to go. Now what do we want to go for? Maybe a cup, because that seems to be empty inside. Yeah, there we go, look at that, we can just reach inside. So we're gonna make this a whole lot bigger and longer. There we go. Now this is of course going to be the front of some kind of a custom pistol that we're gonna build that is gonna shoot custom objects. Let's actually freeze or snap that into place so the building process is gonna be easier. The next thing we're gonna need is a spawner entity, which we find right here, and you can see there is an arrow, so this is the direction where objects are gonna be flung out in case you have set a velocity to them. So we're also gonna grid and angle snap this bad boy, but for this guy we also have to choose auto connect, so it actually connects to the tube as soon as we touch it. Okay, let's scale this bad boy down to where we need it so that we can just fit it into this tube. Now it doesn't matter if it sticks a little bit out, this won't be visible in play mode. However, now we need something that we can use as a projectile. So what do we have? A bowling ball. Yes, indeed. Yeah, let's just go with the bowling ball. We're gonna make it a whole lot smaller. Now what we want to do is hover over the spawner and then press the circle pad in order to snap it into the spawner's place. So now it's time to actually edit this bad boy. We're gonna go into the edit tool and click the spawner right there. Now you can see it is active, fire rate 1 second. Currently we can have a maximum of 5 spawned objects at a time. So we're gonna bump the max amount to 10, and the launch speed I also want to set to something better. We're going to set it to about 25 meters per second. Next we have the spread type, where you can set a random distribution in the horizontal or vertical direction, and you can set a spread amount as well. Last but not least, you decide what happens when the max amount is reached. In our case, we are gonna remove the oldest object. So now we could already test this, hit the play button, it's gonna fall down. However, it's also gonna shoot a bunch of these bowling balls. So let's go ahead and edit this bad boy again. We are not done yet. What we want to do is edit the spawner once again and set it to be not active. Anyways, we want to do something with this bad boy. Maybe we want to go for some type of a connector, a spin joint. That sounds very fun. Angle snap this guy, and we want to make sure only half of the thing is actually connecting to the tube, because this front part here will be spinning around. Now we can already test this, I do believe so. Let's hit the play button and it should be turning around. Yes indeed, but very slowly still. So why don't we go ahead and actually edit this and tell it to go much faster. I think we're gonna go the maximum setting. Yeah, 10 times the speed. That is much faster. However, now we want a proper handle for this thing. And fortunately enough, this game also has a couple of handles in store. I think within the toys we should be finding, for instance, the handle gun. There we go. Now this is not a real gun, it's really just a handle with a trigger, and we want to make sure that we attach it to the other half of the spin joint. Alright, so now we already have the means of taking this bad boy into our hands. Actually, we can pick it up. We can also see that the top part is spinning around. However, when I press the trigger, nothing happens just yet. So let's go ahead and choose our wiring tool. We want to select the input first and then the output, so the gun and then the spawner, and we tell this to react on trigger down. And as for the output, we simply want to use the instant spawn functionality. Alright, I think that was actually already enough. Yeah, we're gonna do just that. Now you can see when trigger down, instantly spawn one of the bowling balls. So let's test this out. I'm gonna pick this bad boy up, and now you can see we can basically shoot whenever we want. And of course we can only have 10 of these guys at the same time before the oldest one despawns. So I think now that we got the basic functionality down, it's time to add some gimmicks. I don't know, for instance, we could take care of the rotating part a little bit more professionally. So we're gonna choose the wire tool, we're gonna choose our handle and then our rotor. Then we want to say whenever the item is held, then we want to tell the rotor to turn on, right? And of course that also means we have to edit this guy once again and tell the motor to be off by default. So now if we test this in play mode, the motor is off by default, but as soon as I pick it up, it will turn on. When I release it again, it will turn off again. And of course you can do this with any object. There are pistons, there are hinges, etc, etc. Alright, let's do one last thing. We're gonna have a look into the connectors category, and yeah, the spin rod. I'm actually really fond of this bad boy. We also want to snap that into place right there. That seems about right. And now, of course, this is also gonna spin around together with the tube. However, what we want to do is have a look into the locomotion section, and we're gonna go for a thruster here. And of course, we have to make it a lot smaller. And we're gonna make it so it fits just on top of that guy. Oh yes, that's gonna be amazing. Okay, so let's go ahead and choose the clone tool again. We want to desnap this guy, turn it around, snap it again so we can attach it to this bad boy. Beautiful. Great. Now we only need to choose the wire tool once again. We're gonna select the handle if it allows me to do so. Select the thruster. We're gonna say if trigger is down, then we want to turn the thruster on. Okay, I've done the same thing with the other thruster, however that now means we don't want them to be turned on by default. But maybe they are actually not turned on, there's no setting to shut them off, to be quite honest. But let's test this out now. So we can see the top part is already spinning. If we pick it up, then the entire tube is spinning. And if we actually press the trigger button, we will not only shoot bowling balls, but we will also enable the thrusters. Now guys, this was really just the beginning. I mean, there's so much stuff here. We have spin joints, hinge joints, free joints. We even have elastic bands, or man, you can install a freaking rope. Look at this, man, this is just crazy. Now, of course, we also have tons of primitives. We also have advanced objects. We have toys, we have doors. We even have the possibility to add more stuff to the game through the workshops. So these are all workshop items that I'm subscribed to and I can load into the game at will. So to wrap this up, let's actually have a look into another pre-created scene, namely another wave defense game in a dungeon-like setting. Alright guys, here we are within the dungeon defense mode, and of course we can interact with almost every object. We can more or less easily pick up this sword, there we go, and we also got a mace down below. We can smash things into bits and pieces. Of course we could also utilize this lever in order to activate the game. Over here we can see a score keeping system, and you know, everything right here is built manually. You could do this yourself. I mean, this thing for instance is is stuck on a rope. Isn't that just amazing? I love the idea of that. You can do so many things here. So maybe to wrap up the episode, let's go ahead and maybe pick up that shield, and we're gonna start a round just to see what's going on, and after that we're gonna check it out in edit mode. So I will have to switch this lever here. So let's do just that and the mode should start. I can defend myself with my shield, and you know, all of these enemies you can actually set up yourself. Right now the enemies are obviously still a little bit limited because there are not too many variants of them, but you know, the basic idea, the concept is right there and you can do it all yourself. So as a proof of concept, let's head into the edit mode and check this out. You can see all of this is done manually. We can have a look around. We can, for instance, choose our wire tool in order to see all of the various connections. So for instance, we have a connection from this lever all the way over to here where a sound effect is playing, so that is actually also possible. And on the lever turned on state, we are actually activating this spawner, which is activating some types of enemies. So that is pretty cool. We can also make ourselves a lot bigger here, and I guess that's how most of the big things here have been built first. So yeah, I'm really fond of this program. This is one great thing. Now, if you want to see more of that, if we want to really take on a project, then let me know in this video. Hit that thumbs up button or leave a comment, give me some suggestions, because there's literally no end to this. I mean, we can come up with our own little mini games, we can build huge things, we can build functional things, and we can have a ton of fun in this. Just let me know that you want to see more of this. But yeah guys, with that out of the way, thank you so much for watching and supporting this video. Have a great time, and hopefully I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Bye bye.